Visit this URL and scroll down. You will get all the details, what are the functions used, how they can be used, and here you can pull the entire code. You can copy it, or you can further go down to create the tables and all. Here the database table, for if you are using SQLite database, then you can copy this and create table in your GUI, or you can directly download the new DB file, database file it is, and put it in your location, and inside that student3 file, student3 table is already created. And here you can just copy. If you are using MySQL database, then copy this code. This SQL dump is available. Inside your PHP MyAdmin, go to the SQL tab here, and inside that you paste your, let me paste your whatever the code or SQL dump we have copied now. So this, then click go. So this will create the table. Here is our Tkinter application where I can add the data. Say I have just inserting some data, and you can see the unique one, like a ticket number or a registration number or a reference number is generated. Now this reference number has one AB. This is a string. You can use any other string based on your logic, and then it has a year 2023 and the month, and the 22 is the date. So year, month, date added to it, and then 4 zeros and 1 8. This 8 is the unique number. Now if I'll add one more record, say it will give me 9. So you can see here this ID 9 here is also displayed, and this, and you can see the moment I give an ID is generated from the database, this also added with left side 4 zeros. Actually the total space allotted is 5. So moment it is 9 now, so 4 zeros are added. Now if I'll add one more record, I'm just some dummy data I am inserting, and I am, look at it. Now this is 3 zeros are there. So total length will be always remain 5, and the left side of it, the character or the positions will be filled with 0. For this we have used our 0 field. So this became a unique string ID which comes from the database. Once you store some data, it can be a user reference, user complaint, or a reference number, a ticket number, or a PNR number, anything you can use it. And it's a string, date, and the unique ID. We'll start from here. This is our blank window. We have imported date and time because date and time we will be including in our creation of the unique string. And Tkinter, then the geometry 600 to 50, you can go as per your requirement, and the title here. Now on this we'll paste our database connection. This you see we have imported SQL Alchemy, and here is the error, handling the error, this part we will use, and here two lines are there. One line is commented. If you are using SQLite database, and if you have downloaded the database, new database and all, based on the path you have installed, you can use this. So based on where in location you have kept that DB file, you can use this. And if you are using MySQL database, then you have to comment this line and use this line. So this is where you can use your ID, password, then database name here. So accordingly, whatever the database you are using, either MySQL or SQLite, you can use. So the variable name my connection is common. So below that, whatever script we write, that part remains constant. Let's declare the higher size fonts. So that we will be using it. So I am saying font 1 equal to, now I am declaring the font family. I am giving you whatever you want, you can give. Arial, now font size 26. And what is bold, italic, or anything I can use, normal, fine. So I'll just copy this, paste it here. Now I will have font 2, and this font I'll go for a higher size, so 36. This is font I will be, sorry, not 36. This is the font what we will be using to display our final string. To this we'll add our components. I'm just pasting the components here. There are buttons and labels only. So let me paste it here. This much component we are adding it. So here you can see label. So this is the first label, or the top we are saying that one add data. This is just for the display purpose. And we have placed it on a grid, and slightly bigger column span we have given. So it will be at the top, expanding both left and right. So this is our whatever the text box where the user will enter some data, because that data will go to the database. So that text box we are given here, and then the button. The button, once the user enter the data and clicks the button, then that will trigger the function here add data. We will not return, we will write that function now. Define add data, and here I am then I am saying pass. So right now then we'll enter the code here. Once the button is clicked, this data will go and the unique string will be displayed. So here that is what the function on click of this button, this function is called. So command lambda and this add data. Now after that there is a label. What a small label with which will just display the unique ID returned by the database, the number ID part only, the integer part, and it will also display if there is any error message is there. Say you have not entered any data and click the submit button or inserted, so that is a blank data, so it will prompt there. So any other error message from database will be displayed here. The LV2, this is the one which is will give us the final string which will be presenting to the user with all our combinations. So let's just run this and see how this works. So we are running, here it is. So this is the layout. Now if I'll click this, nothing will happen because we are not written the code. This is our entry box. We'll enter some data and then click this button. We'll work inside our function add pass, add data. Inside this, first we'll create a flag. So this is a boolean flag. So based on the data validation, so we'll set it true or false, because equal to, let me just put it false. So this is a boolean data flag only, because in your case, based on the different inputs you will be using, so whether the user has entered that or selected the radio button or not, you can set this flag as false or true, and based on that you can trigger the database insertion. So for that we are using here only one input, but still we will use it, so you can extend it easily. So what is that my name? My name is what the user has entered in that at the top T1 here. You can see the text there. Whatever the user has entered, we will collect that. So I am just giving my name T1, collecting the data here. Sorry, T1 dot get. Now starting from 1.0 or starting from the first until the end. So you have got the whatever the user has entered, we collected it here. Now if len my name, this is what the user has entered. Len is counts the number of characters in that, or the length of the object, length of the string. My name is less than 2, means in this case, if it is user has entered one character only, or if you want it should be 1, okay fine. So one character only, less than 2, then flag validation equal to false. Now what I am doing is, I am just giving you a template here. You can extend it. If the radio button is not selected, set the flag validation equal to false. So like that you can continue in that way. So sorry, here I have to make it true, not false. First it is true, by default it is true. Any of the flag, any of the thing is not validated, then it will be false. So for that I am just saying if, now I am coming flag validation, that means there is nowhere the validation has failed or it was not made to false. Then I will try, I'll just first let me just give my str. What is my str? Let me just write this. Adding data, that means our data insertion should start from here. Now my str is a string variable. Here at the line number 27 we have declared it. So this string variable is connected to label 1. So label 1 is the small label, we will see that. So whatever the message we want to give or the ID what you receive, the integer part only will display here. So that we are initially keeping it like that. Now what you will do, we will keep a try and exit block. Exit block I will just let me pass this and here enter and paste a except. So here what happens, this except what a block whatever, will pick up the database error from SQL Alchemy, because this library we have imported here. You can see here the error module handling, here it is, that we are using it here to get the error. Now once I get this very error message, how I will display it? Again I will use the whatever the below this the LB1 or this one, particularly this one where the string variable is connected mystr, that will be using it. So let me just write the error handling part first. So lb1.config. What I am doing is, usually whenever there is an error, we will keep a background as red, front as yellow, all these things. So that's why I am just giving it. You can change it whatever way you want. bg equal to red. So background, bg is here is the background color. Then foreground if you want. This is okay, whatever way you want. bg is better to give you yellow, and foreground means fg is the font color, that I am giving it as red. So it is the error message, that's what. This is I am setting. So far I have not set the what is the error message. Now if I want, I can print to the error console also. Error to the console, and next I am going and printing, setting the what it will print. mystr is the string variable connected to the lb1 dot set. Now what is the error message? So here I am printing it. Now in this case, now once you complete it, okay, so far we are not connected, so we will not get any database error now, because we are not executed any code. Here small change, this particular, once the flag validation becomes true, means flag validation there is no false, so it is true, so there is no validation is cleared, then only we will keep this inside our if block. Sorry, I think I did a mistake here. Okay, so here I am coming, and the except block also will keep it here. Now accordingly we will push all the lines. So now fine. So if flag validation is true, then here we will place our database operation, and then if any error message is there. Now what happens if the flag validation false, or it is something error, or user has not entered anything, something is it's not true? In that case we will display the message. So I am saying the else part here. So what I am going to do is lb1, the label what we have used. Now that config, I am by config or configure I can use. So what I am saying is foreground equal to red, because this is again a error message, and bg, this options I can configure. So background, bg means background here yellow. So this I am just changing a little bit the color. Now what I am going to do is there I will give a message asking mystr, that is the string variable which we can configure, so that will be displayed on the label. So mystr dot set means, because we are assigning a string to it, so we will say check inputs, or whatever value you want to give, you can give this check inputs. So accordingly we can display the data here. Now what happens, once the data is displayed, for some time will display, then we will hide it, because the user may correct it again, because this message will confusing it. So for that purpose we will use a timer. So for that we will say lb1 dot after what should be the duration, after which this after will execute the function or the command whatever we give. Now 3000, this is 3000 milliseconds, so it is 3 seconds. So I am just for 3 seconds I will display the message. What will happen after 3 seconds is, so this message will anyway at this point will be displayed, check inputs. After 3 seconds or 3000 milliseconds, what should happen? Now I am again using configuring, so because using a lambda and using configuring, so lb1 dot config we can change any options of the particular object or the wizard whatever we are using. So here we will say fg means foreground is, let's keep it white. Let the color change, because after some time again it should reset. So white. Now bg background equal to also white, and most important is what should happen text. So text I am keeping it blank. That means the error message should not be displayed. It should be removed. So after 3 seconds, this particular text should vanish. So what happened? User is aware of it and the message has gone. This part I think we can check it up to this, because I will do what I will do is I will create error. Now without entering anything, I will just enter it here. You can see here check input, and 3 seconds it should go. It has gone. Now once again I am not entering anything and clicking. So check inputs. So again after 3 seconds it should go. Now if I'll enter anything more than 2 character, then this message won't come, but nothing will happen because we have not written any code here, because this part we have not written, but this no more message. We'll enter our code here. So first we'll write our query. So query is what we will be using for our inserting to our database. So I will just say insert into now my table name is student3. You can download the entire SQL dump if you are using MySQL, or even SQLite also, both. And if you are downloading the entire database of SQLite, that is a file base, so you can download it, place it on that. Inside that, this table is already there. So student3. Now what is that is I am just giving you the column name is name. That's all. Now the value is, sorry, this should be, by convention this should be uppercase. Values. Now here I am giving a placeholder. This placeholder is little different in, may have to change some settings. This placeholder is different from MySQL and SQLite. Now here one more line I am writing. I am just copying this, pasting it again, and here I am writing it like this. This placeholder this is for SQLite. So I will, in the comment I will write it, whatever database you are using, MySQL query, and here if you are using SQLite, then fine. So any one of them will use. So right now we are in SQLite, so we'll comment this line. You just see here also at the top we have here you can see this MySQL line we have commented, and this line. So my connection we are taken from here. Now let's come down. Here we are. So now after this I am just separating the data. So I am creating a tuple, giving my data equal to, now here it is my name, because I have a single only entry. My name is what? My name is here at line number 36. We are collecting what the user has entered. So that I am creating a tuple here. But just one tuple, you suppose you have multiple things, you can extend it further. Multiple inputs you are taking. That is why I am just giving it as a tuple here. So for next is, now let me just give a ID. This what I am doing is my connection. My connection at the top we have discussed. This is a connection string or connection object based on MySQL or SQLite, whatever you have used. Now inside that, two things: query, whatever we have written at the top, and my data. Here what I am doing is I am passing this data separately, not as a part of the query. The reason is that is to prevent the injection attack. What happens when you are taking a user input or where the inputs are not in our control? So any type of code, delete query or equal to, many things can be exposed. Our database can be exposed to. For this security reason, we are using this as a separately, query going separately and data passing separately. So my database understands what is the query part and what is the data in that. Now next is most important, ID auto. Now here is a variable I am declaring, and what I am doing is ID, this ID at the just above line I have collected it, last row ID. Now what happens, this returns me once this query is executed, this data is stored in the database, the unique ID, because I am using auto increment field in MySQL and a unique field in SQLite, that will return me the ID of just now inserted record. That ID column it will return me. So that I am capturing it here. So if I am 4, then next one will be 5, next one will be 6, like that. But mostly I will be using it along with a string. So better by using str, I will convert it to a string and keep it ready. So now I got the most important part is the unique ID of the record. I got it. Now what happens, because I have already inserted the record, so this part, so whatever the user has entered, that I will remove it, delete starting from 1.0 till end. That means keep the blank for next entry to work. So that's what. Now LB1, this is the label where I am, there's a small one. Now I am again using config. Now why I am, because I want to make, if you any previously any error message is displayed, so I am saying FG equal to foreground is green. Foreground means font color here, and BG equal to white. If it is suppose red and all, any error message is there, I am just resetting it. Then what I am doing is I am setting a myStr is the string variable which is connected to this label. That value I am setting it. My set equal to, now here I have two strings I will add. I will give a little space also I can give, and plus. Now here you can see I have ID auto. Now what happened? That is why ID auto, here I am converting the auto increment ID, whatever I get it from the database, that I am converting into a string, because here I am doing a string addition. If I will not convert it, here I have to use, otherwise I will get an error message, because this part is a string, so I cannot just like that add a integer. What I get it is last row ID is a integer. So that is displays me the my row ID. So now again, this suppose you want to hide it after some time delay. I am just I will copy the whatever here I have written. Sorry, here whatever here I have. I will just copy this, because I suppose after displaying this where I was last row ID myStr, fine. Now LB1, now slightly there will be a small change here. LB1 FG is white, BG, now text text is again blank. So I have just copied this and pasted it here. So the same thing will happen after 3 seconds. So 3000 milliseconds. So after 3 seconds this will vanish. Now but so far we have not used, only the ID part will display. We have not given that with the date, adding the date and our string before that we have not. But we can still test it also. Let's just go there and run once. Let's see. Now I am having something minimum 2, adding data. I think something is wrong. Here I missed the execute command. So execute, the query is executed here. So I am saving this, running it again. Now let's just, here 2 characters. Here you can see ID equal to 12. Now next one I go, ID equal to 13. So it's auto increment. So next ID will be there, and after 3000 millisecond or 3 seconds, this is vanishing. We'll create our final ID or final string with all the combinations of date and some strings, etc. So for that we'll say DT. DT is our date in a string format. So what we are saying is date today. This will, and you at the top you can see we have imported here. First line we have imported our date library. So that's why we are able to use it here. Now strf time. What this does? This converts the date, today's date object, to a string format, and whatever the format will give it. Here you can see a list also. So strf time converts the date object to a given formatted string. So here if your requirement is different, then you can change it here, the format. What I am using is I am giving a format y. Y means 4-digit year, then m month. Now again I am giving %d, that is the date. So if you want different format, change it here. Suppose you want, no, it should month, it should give it a April, Jan, Feb, like that. So you can use that one. So I am using this. Change it to a different format as per your requirement. Now finally I am creating the string here, IDSTR. Then variable name I am giving. Now here I am giving AB. AB is the string. It's logical. Say in your application you want different seating elements are there, say some dress circle, some in front of this, so it should start with AB if it is a dress circle, or if it is a front gallery, some it should start with CD or XY, whatever you want, your logic, based on that you can add that. Now next is our DT. DT is nothing, as I discussed, this is the above line, we have just created the string in a given format. So that's all. Now what happened, we will add our ID here. But what happens is, now I can just add ID auto. What is this ID auto is? Here we have just above here this line we have created the string. Suppose integer 12 is returned, so 12 will be. But here what we will do, we will use a Z fill. Z fill means, suppose you want a 5-digit number. Say if the first record is, suppose second record is 2, then it should be 00002, because it is always 0 should be filled at the left side. Moment the number became 2, then 3 zeros will be added. If it is became, if it is became 3-digit number, then 2 zeros will be added, like that. So for that we have a function, string function Z fill. So that will take care of that. So I am just giving Z fill up to 5. Now what happens, this 5 means I am telling this particular auto ID, whatever is there, fill the left side with zeros. So total length should be not exceed 5. That's what I am saying that. That's all. Now I got the my string. This is the final string. This I'll just write it in a, for a better understanding, the format A, B, save, then 2023-04. This is the month. Previously it was the year 2023. Now dash, then I'll say 21 or anything, whatever. Then the zero fill will work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then say ID number is 6. Fine, this way this will be my output. Suppose this is 12, then in that case this 0 won't be there, 1 will be there. So like that Z fill. So the total length always remains constant. So you can easily fix it in a database table or anything. Now let's just display this. That will end our job. So lv2.config. Config, because the options we want to change it. Let's give a background as yellow. So little prominently it will visible. Now Z fill BG is yellow, text equal to ID underscore str. So that is what the text is. Now if you want this should be displayed for a longer duration, you can do that. Otherwise if you want to hide it, let's just copy this line. This much is not required. But this is LV2, not LV1. So LV2. Now after 3 seconds or more you can keep it, LB2 again config. This will not change anything, text only will keep it blank. So now we have removed it. Now there is one more part of it, we'll just see that. So let's check up to this point. Let's see how our string appears. Here it is. So you see this is the 15 and zero fill is there. Now let me once more, and up to 3 seconds, 16 now, 17, sorry, I should allow it. So like that it continues. I can remove my this thing, and zero fill fills the left side. Whatever the final string is generated, that you can also store it in a table. Though at this stage it is not required, because all things are derived. Once you know the ID, you can as well add the date and all those things, because you want to store it, which date it was created and all. Let's just store it in a column. The column is already there. So for that we'll say, we'll write that update query only, because the existing data is already inserted. So it's an existing record which we are updating, not a new record. So we'll say the query should read like this. Query, I am giving a update student 3. This student 3 is my table name. Now because it's a update command, set ID str. So ID str is a column exclusively for this. You can see in the SQL dump also, this column is already created in the table. ID str equal to, now what happens, I am giving it like that because I am taking the variable here. So I have given the quotes because it's a string again, plus ID str. ID str is my final string. Here it is at line number 54, whatever we are displayed to the user, the final string. Now this is a string addition, again double quotes. Now in here what I have to start with a single quote here. So id set id str where, because without a where condition that this will update all the records. So you must give a where condition, where id, the unique id column, you can see that equal to. Now let me give this here at the end, otherwise this will give me the error always. Okay, where id equal to now plus, now here I am saying id auto. What is id auto? This is what I have converted to string here at line number 46. Whatever the just now inserted, that row id, whatever I got it written, so that in a string format I have converted, that I am using where id equal to this, because these are all strings, so I must use string. I can't use a integer here to add it, because string and integer cannot be added. So here is that where, let me just check it once, fine, that's all. So where id equal to this will be our query. Now this query will just execute it. So my connection execute, last time we missed this query, that's all. Now this will insert it. I am not going further whether the database has inserted it correctly or not. All those messages you can keep tracking of this and accordingly develop your logic. So I am just saving it. Let's just run it once and see that any error is there or not. So fine, now abd add record. Okay, there is no error, so it is going for that. Now okay, now again let's go. That's all, it's working perfectly. The moment it's now row number of records goes to 3 digit, our Z-fill will remove 1 0. That's all, friends. I'll request you, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add new tutorials, and we frequently do that also. And if you have any doubts, suggestions, questions, use the comment section below to post it. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.